Okay. Hey y'all. Sorry. I'm looking crazy. And I'm eating. Hold on. Okay. Like that was so much better. Hey y'all. I hold on. I just finished eating me some cookies and cream ice cream. Not your traditional cookies and cream. I had some vanilla bean gelato, and I baked some chocolate chip cookies. Excuse me. It's something I used to always eat when I was pregnant with my oldest son, who's now 22. Um, I would do a whole warm baked chocolate chip cookie at the bottom, put the vanilla ice cream on top, and then take another one of the cookies and like crumble it over top. Delicioso, as my grandbaby would say, and my boy would say, because she got it from him. Anyway, now sadly, my little chocolate chip cookies came out flat as a pancake, which is extra sad because your girl's supposed to be a baby baker over here. So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't know, was my butter too soft? Hmm. No, because then I refrigerated it, so that couldn't have been it. Maybe I just didn't use enough flour. Anyway, um, I'm not going to be before you long, but thank you for joining me and thank you for listening. I just wanted to go over a couple things. First off, I got a name. So without further ado, welcome y'all to the Let's Talk About Life podcast. Essentially what we're going to do on said podcast is we're going to talk about my life, we're going to talk about your life, we can talk about his life, we're going to talk about her life. Now mind you, his and her and all of that, those people don't exist yet, right? But we're going to go ahead and start manifesting that I'm going to have guest speakers and all of the things to talk about. Still don't have a guest host, and that's part of what I'm going to talk about. I mean, not a guest host, but a co-host. Excuse me. Let's see, that's the sad thing. I done ate this ice cream. I had to take the dairy pill in order to be able to eat the ice cream, even though I'm doing the gelato, and gelato doesn't affect me as bad. But the older that we get, it gets real out here. I'm taking gas pills, I'm taking dairy pills, I'm taking prebiotics, I'm taking the allergy medicine, the pill, and then having to squirt the Flonase, and just all of the things, right? Getting older is not for the weak, okay? And your body get to change, and then you like, wow, I used to eat the ice cream just fine, and now just thinking about the ice cream, now I'm burping and farting and stuff. Too much information, but that's real. I mean, literally, like, I tasted the ice cream and said, oh, let me take the dairy pill, let me go get one, and I was already farting. So it was almost as if it's an immediate thing. It's crazy. um but yeah, anyway, again, so the name is officially Let's Talk About Life podcast. And we're just gonna make it do what it do. Like I said, I still don't have it together. I still don't have a co-host. I don't even know if that's gonna be what it's supposed to be, but we're just gonna let the Lord lead us, right? We're gonna let the Lord lead us, because essentially he the one who done told me to do this. Like, as much as I love to have one-on-one and deep conversations with my homies and my peoples and stuff, the idea of recording and posting and all of that, eh, but it is what it is. But anyway, though, what I wanted to talk about is one of my homies put me onto this girl on Instagram, and I mean, she's a lady. I would say girl, but we grown. We big grown at this point. Um her name is what the heck is it? Is it with Lord, girl? Did I forget that fast? And she said over and over again, with me now in your word. With me now in your word. That's what her page is called. And she literally reads the Bible live. And I've been struggling trying to read the Bible for quite some time. And we do Bible studies at my church, and we typically have it focused around different books and stuff like that. So I do end up reading parts of the Bible. Um, but just to really sit and get into it, I'd be struggling. What I will say, and I was just telling my homie today at church, because I've been watching this girl, um, so I just started, she's done a few books already, but I'm just getting on to it. So right now she's doing Exodus. So I started doing Exodus, like I watched her videos, the lives, and I've been, reading along or reading on my own. And then I just started watching Genesis today because it technically goes Genesis and then Exodus. And just because, so I can be really up on her and her shenanigans and how she portrays and what she gets out of it. I started reading that. But let me tell you something. This is what I told my homie today at church. I know we've all heard of people saying that, you lay back to read the Bible, you sit up to read the Bible, whatever, and you immediately go to sleep. Or your intentions are pure. Oh, but now I'm super tired. Well, just in watching this lady, the one thing I can say, like I told my homie today, uh, the dosage of the melatonin in my Bible pages has gone from a 10 milligram to a 3 milligram. So, with that being said, we are growing, right? She's making it interesting. She's absolutely hilarious. And like I said, she's animated and she's full of life. So, um, it's made it easier for me to follow along. And then it also makes me more, what's that on my screen? Um, it also makes me a little bit more excited to read along and then even read ahead so that when she's talking about different things, I have an idea so I can really kiki real good because I know what she's talking about. Now, mind you, I've read Genesis before, and I've read, I want to say the majority of Exodus, but I want to say when I got to Exodus, especially, I think I started um letting the Bible app read to me. So I mean, I'm not really like an audiobook kind of girl because my mind be all over the place. So I'm not saying I ain't pick up on nothing, but I definitely didn't pick up on much. So for one, it's very refreshing to have somebody break it down in very, very like layman slash hood terms for one. And then for two, as I'm reading it after either listening to her or reading it first and then listening to her, it's just been a lot more enjoyable. And in this season of my life of just getting closer to God, that is exactly where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? And then also the whole thing about being in Exodus and talking about Moses is one of the things, of course, like we all know, Moses is God calls Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let his people go, right? So that they can worship him and all of the things. And Moses is saying, Lord, look, I got to stutter. I'm not a man of many words. This can't be the mission for me. This is not what I should be doing. And I think that is the season that I'm in, right? I'm saying, Lord, I feel like you calling me to do a podcast. What am I going to be talking about? Who gonna want to listen to me, right? But it's one of those things where I have to trust that He's going to give me what to say. And you know, I'm not. I'm a child of God. I'm not saying I'm a Bible thumping holy roller to the point that I can quote all of the scriptures and do all of the things and everything I said in my mouth is extra holy. But um I'm just going to trust him to guide me and lead me because the same way he told Moses, okay, you got to stutter, but who gave you that stutter? And if I gave you that stutter and I gave you this mission, I'm going to give you exactly what you need to execute said mission. I'm going to trust that whatever door he opens for me and whatever he brings me to, he's going to bring me through. So here we are. Like I said, let's talk about life podcast. We're talking about my life right now because that's what it is. The one thing that I wanted to talk about today was I've been going through a season of isolation. Um and it has become like, if I didn't know it at first, it is becoming more and more apparent day in and day out that that's exactly where I am. I'll give a little context to that. Obviously, based off of a previous video that I've done, I've talked about just, the lack of relationships as far as men are concerned, or getting into relationships or situations with men who are not quite up to par, right? So in that side of things, your girl's phone is dry, right? There's no communication. The couple guys that I was talking to, or whatever the case might be, they have either been blocked or I've put them on ignore, just because of them not being who I know God would send for me, or send to me, if that makes sense. Um, Sadly, I've spent the majority of my life not really having standards. See, that's the one thing about having wearing glasses, and I can see the computer in my glasses. I don't like that. That's distraction. Anyway, sadly, I haven't had the highest standards, which now I know for two reasons. For one, I know just based off of growing up, not having a dad that was really present and really showing up like he loved me, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. So if a guy said he liked me, if the guy said I was cute, whatever, boom, I'm on it. Yeah, I'm ready to say, oh, he's the one, whatever. I'm always looking for love. This one is my husband, blah, 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 blah. Girl, this hair, I need to do my hair. I'm trying to hold out. My birthday is next week, and I'm thinking about getting my hair professionally done because I always do it myself. So I'm trying to hold out because I know if I wash it and twist it myself, then I'm not going to want to get it done. But baby, we got all of the new growth all over the place. And I literally just twisted at least the front for church today, but then I laid down and took it down and I didn't wrap it up. But anyway, um, I'm thinking about getting a crochet needle. Like, you know how they take it and they take the lock and they stab it or whatever like that to keep it neat. I'm thinking about doing that. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's random. I'm getting distracted. But yeah, so the standards haven't really been very high. Um, and so I've allowed myself to get into situations simply just because somebody showed interest. And now that I'm kind of like, okay, you like me, but so what? Okay, you love me, but what's love got to do with it? Like, what do you really bring? What are you bringing? What value are you bringing to my life? Because I know what value that I bring, right? I know who I am as a woman, and what I have going for myself. So, what do you have, or who are you? Like, are you stable and certain in who you are? Are you a man of God? Are you going to pray for me? Are you going to provide for me? Are you going to pursue me? Are you going to plan for me? Um, all of the things. Are you going to um just be more than the bare minimum? You know what I'm saying? So with that, I mean, I'm not even really turning a whole bunch of people down. I've just really made myself kind of unavailable as a whole, and I've just been working on me and just working on growing closer to God, because again, like I said, I'm looking for something different now. And then I also know that, my man is going to come find me. So I ain't really got to be out here looking and searching and all of the things. It's going to all fall into place how God intended for it to do. Anyway, and if I ain't learned nothing else, and I was just talking about this with another homie at church, the Lord ain't bring me no married man. The Lord has not brought me anybody else's husband that is unhappy and thinking about leaving a wife, that is separated and is working on getting a divorce, that is uh broke up or separated and getting divorce papers when they beefing, and then as soon as they get cool again on a good level, then he moving slow. God did not bring me any of that. So if I ain't learned nothing else in this season, them niggas ain't for me. I'm gonna say that. So yeah, so on that level, things have been pretty dry, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not dealing with a whole lot of extra BS or things that are just gonna have me out here sinning and doing nothing crazy. Because we see how that last situation um worked out with all of this resolve and all of this that I think I got going on. Excuse me, and how strong I am and all of that. And then as soon as I met up with the man, I ended up doing all of the things that I shouldn't have been doing. Okay. And that's why I ended up having to block him. And then also the little test that I said that I was going to pass the next time it came, that same person, because I didn't block him, he been reaching out. And I, like, how sometimes you just want to say, I don't even know what I just want to say because I don't need to say nothing. I probably should block him too. Um, but I haven't responded. And I haven't heard anything else because the last message was along the lines of, if I don't hear anything back, I'm gonna just leave you alone. Well, you're gonna go ahead and have to just leave me alone because, sir, I know nothing has changed on your side of things, and um, I just don't want to keep being available for people who are just not coming correct. Just come correct. Like, leave, and if not, leave me alone. Or the one who's actually a really good friend. We out of all of the men that I have encountered after being with my son's father for years and years and years, he I used to always say, like, he was a mature love for me. It wasn't just like, "Oh, he's so fine. I just da 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 da." It wasn't that at all. He was a very level-headed. He was the youngest guy I'd ever talked to, but he was also the most mature at the same time. He had a good head on his shoulders. He was single. Hello. Um, I mean, still has some things to work out and all of that, but like, he gonna I almost don't want to say it because if I post it, of course, like I said, these people gonna know that I'm talking about them. And again, y'all, much love is no hard feelings. No hard feelings at all. I ain't putting no names out there, nothing. But he texted me something a little off the wall. I reached out just for some clarification because, sir, some things are not meant to be texted, especially when you're not even a texter. You like to talk on the phone. But he wanted to keep hitting me with the you like avoiding, and I'm trying to get it out, but I can't think of the words to say. So I was like, well, you know what? Ask the Lord to tell you what to say. Okay? Because if anybody knows, it's gonna be him. Okay. And I mean, I ain't heard from him since then. I haven't heard from him since then. But like I said, if he went to the Lord, like I'm sure he did, because he is a spiritual guy, um, I'm sure the Lord told him to go ahead and leave her alone. If you don't have it all together and you don't have it all worked out, stop playing around with her. Just leave her alone. Because one thing that I've been serious and I've been praying about is, Lord, just shield me from the counterfeits, right? Shield me from the counterfeits. And then also, if there's a situation where I am showing up as a counterfeit in somebody else's life, go ahead and shield them from me, right? Because at the end of the day, like, we don't have time for that. Like I said, no more detours. I'm trying to do things within his will and I'm trying to do things his way. I'm tired of the detours. I don't want to go through a whole lot of just to come all the way around the mulberry bush like this, just to start right back here because I got to do it the way that he want me to do it. So, which is how I know that I am in a season like that season of isolation. So, boom. He done cleared out all of the men's. Okay. So all of the men, they didn't went on about their business. So it's just me over here. I'm not sinning. I'm not out here having no premarital sex or, you know, wasting my time. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not showing up and being everything for anyone for them to um be non-committal and show up doing the bare minimum. I'm not doing any of the things, right? So now let's go on over to the friendships and all of that. Now I'll be honest, right? I have always been kind of a loner, but I have had a few relationships, a few friendships and whatnot like that, that have kind of stood the test of time, right? But the funny thing is, as I have begun to pray seriously about God shielding me from the counterfeits or shielding people from me if I'm showing up as counterfeit in their lives, I mean, literally, I reached out to an old friend. And when I say an old friend, a friend like we have been friends since high school. And I reached out to her a day after her birthday and say happy birthday. I texted her because that's typically what we do. We just send a quick, I've always been that kind of a friend, honestly. Like, I listen, life be life. Okay. Life be life, and I've had seasons of barely making it. I don't know how I made it every day. I don't know how I got up out of the bed. I don't know. It'd be a whole lot. When you're the strong one, when you're the one that people can always come to, when you're one that don't ask nobody for nothing and all of these things, you be out here battling. I'd be out here battling to make it, battling my mind, all the things. Not so much now. Like the one thing with my walk with God, as I've gotten closer to God, I have been given a sense of peace that is unlike anything that I've ever felt before in my life. I could start crying just thinking about it. Like when I write in my prayer journal, there are days when I say, Lord, I thank you for this peace because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong today. There's nothing wrong this week. There's nothing that happens that boggles and holds me down in a way that I have experienced for so many years. So, you know what I'm saying? Wonderful thing. But anyway, because I don't went on a tangent. Today has been a very emotional day. Church, praise and worship was all of the things that it needed to be. I don't even know how I made it through. If I won't so self-conscious, your girl would have been shouting all over the church. I'm just gonna keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And if Pastor heard me say that, he would probably say, "Shame on you, because you can't be worried about what somebody else think about you. You need to do what you need to do for the Lord. You need to get what you need." Because he always say, "What if your praise that you give right now dictates what God is gonna do in your life?" So, in other words, what that would mean for me in this moment, you saying you scared to shout because you worried about what somebody will be thinking, or you worried about if you're gonna be shouting right or whatever. What if you just blocked your blessings? That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, um, okay, how about to say, because what was I saying? All right, so I reach out to this friend. I say, "Hey girl, happy birthday. I'm a day late, whatever." I don't hear nothing back. I wait a couple days. So I said, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna be real. This is my second year in a row of being a day late. But I mean, I don't want to say stuff happens, but stuff happens. I still reach out. I don't hear nothing. So now I'm worried because I'm like, oh, okay, well, we always just kind of text, whatever, whatever, but life be life. And let me reach out and call. I reach out and call. I get sent to the good voicemail. And I don't mean sent to the voicemail like obviously I know that the call was ignored, but the call isn't answered. I leave a good voicemail and I keep it 100 like, hey girl, happy birthday. This is somebody who's not only my friend, but somebody I've considered my sister, right? Because, like I said, I don't keep a lot of people close, but when I keep you close, like you are my family, you know what I'm saying? And I love you as such. And even though I might not show up day in and day out, I might not call you on the regular, whatever. One, we can pick up at any time and talk like we've been talking every day. And I'm talking about for hours. Two, if you ever need me, you know I'm gonna be here. I would give you my drawers if I had to. That's trifling and nasty, and we would hope it wouldn't come to that. But hopefully y'all get my point. Like the people that I love and the people I care for and the people that are near and dear to my heart, I hold them very close. And it's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. It's just that literally life be life. And so there's been times that I barely been making it. So I would look up and let me call so and so. I've been thinking about so and so. And 2 months that went by. I mean, but yeah, I leave a message and I'm just saying, hey girl, happy birthday. I hadn't heard from you, da da da. And I even go as far to say, like, you know what I'm saying? I hope everything is good and I hope we good. And to be honest, if we not, I mean, I understand that too, because I didn't say that at the time, but being in reflection, I just remember something else I want to say. Being in reflection, perhaps I was showing up as a counterfeit in her life. Or maybe it seemed that way. I'm not really sure. But the funny thing about it is I leave the voicemail. I reach out to my niece and hey girl, is your mama good? I mean, her text messages was a little short, like you can tell somebody just giving you, one word answers. But yeah, she good. I just talked to her. She called me because I think she said she had my niece had hives or something, so I remember checking on her. Do you want me to tell her to call you? I was like, "No, not really. I just wanted to make sure that she was good because what I don't want to happen, she live in another state. I don't want to look up and I find out the day she on the news or something and she didn't got kids, something crazy that happened, and I'm over here like, oh, she don't want to call me back. Da, 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 da. I don't hear nothing else from my niece. But again, look, we was finished. I essentially said, "No, ma'am, I don't need you to tell her to call me." I called her, I texted her, and I called and left a voicemail. So I'm sure she got one or the other. So if she hasn't reached out, then it kind of is what it is. Child, the next month come around and it's my niece's birthday, and I actually do remember to text her on time for her birthday. Okay. Um, I text her and she don't respond either. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on here? Because I ain't did nothing to nobody. Okay. But again, it is what it is. And I know they've talked to my sons, so I know that they are okay. But I don't know. I'm talking it up to again. This is a situation where the counterfeits have been removed, or I was the counterfeit and I have been removed. And like I said, I am at peace with all of the things, right? Because again, I can tell that I'm in a season of isolation. Now, before I go into this last situation, I want to double back to the whole situation with the men. One of the things that I also had to realize is, and that is why it's so important to grow. Like I'm trying to grow, I'm learning myself. I'm just learning what I want in a relationship. I'm learning the importance of communication, of being vulnerable, being willing to be vulnerable with my feelings, knowing who I need to show up like in a godly marriage with that man of God, the man that I want, the man that I pray for, um, knowing who I need to show up as, and knowing that the person that I was in, like the relationship with my kid's father, I wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I needed to feel validated. I didn't even know my love language. So at that time, I felt like I was always unappreciated, but it was because I didn't even know at the time what I needed to be done to feel appreciated or anything like that. So it's all of those things that I've had to work on. But one of the things I had to realize is after being with him, and just in any of the relationships and just what I was looking for is I was actually kind of looking for emotionally unavailable men. Um, people who were just getting over a relationship, people being married, whether being still actively in their marriage or um being separated, but in the same breath, I'm separated and I'm definitely gonna get a divorce, but I don't want to get married again. And I definitely don't want to, even if I did want to get married, I don't want to wait until I'm married to have sex. So just knowing that these people are not for me and still pursuing them or still trying to be active in that relationship. Because to be honest, I think in a lot of ways, I ain't really want to have to do no work, if that makes sense. And when you're talking to or messing with somebody that is emotionally unavailable, are not really all in it, I mean, they ain't really got to try, which is, crazy. I mean, there are things like I'm a nurturer by nature. There are certain things about me by nature that I was doing, but I mean, I guess a lot of them I would do anyway, just because like I'm a mom. I know how to take care of a household. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a relationship for a long time. So I know how to do the things that a woman does for the most part in a relationship. But like I said, truly being vulnerable and voicing my feelings, um submitting in some ways, knowing that in a season my job is to pray for the situation and not jump in and do it. Like there's just a lot of things that I realized that I wasn't ready to do. So by being with somebody who wasn't all in, it kept me from having to be all in and really challenge myself, if that makes sense. So if I had ever been told, change it up or switch it up or do this or whatever, I could counter it with, I mean, you only give me 35%. Why would I, you know what I'm saying? Why do I have to try? What do I have to think outside of the box, any of the things? And so like, um, I had to realize that the type of man that I was attracting or the type of men that I was allowing into my space, I was getting exactly what I was looking for because I didn't wanna have to put forth any real effort. I didn't wanna have to do anything outside of my comfort zone. I wasn't really trying to grow with them. I was getting into situations that were very familiar, that I knew, like, you know what I'm saying? I read people very, very well. Like, if I talk to you a couple times or whatever and really get to, because 'cause I'm really good at sitting back and not talk about myself and really allowing you to show me who you are, right? I would do that. I would go, "Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see. I see exactly what's going on here." And boom, you know what I'm saying? Now I can do all of the things that quote unquote make the person happy or check off the boxes, but I wasn't really doing anything to fulfill myself or challenge myself or to make me better. That's why I said it's so important to find somebody that's going to bring value to your life. I also really want a man where I'm the weakest link, if that makes sense, right? Like the woman, in some ways, like I want him to be able to teach me something, right? Because he knows more than I do, or whether it's in the Bible or it's you know knowledge, like his field or just, yeah, his business, anything like this. Somebody that can actually teach me, somebody that I feel like is actually smarter than me in some ways, and can put me onto some things instead of me always feeling like, I mean, not that I wouldn't give advice and all of that, but like I'm the one that's been through everything. So I always got to speak on from my experiences. I gotta, you know what I'm saying, just always feeling like I'm one level up or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to the person for me is going to be doing better than me, and they're going to level me up, if that makes sense. They're going to bring me to a higher level in God, in business, in all things. You know what I'm saying? In parenting. I mean, my kids are grown, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll have kids. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to whatever. Like 3 and up, 5 and up, something like that, not little babies, because again, if you just had a baby, where's their mama? And are you still attached? Okay. Anyway, hold on, y'all, because my legs. I'm supposed to be starting to work out this week. My legs been bothering me, and I ain't even started working out yet. But we still gonna make it do what it do. But yeah, anyway, so on to this last little situation. We just went to the retreat, y'all. Um, that was at the end of March, and it was good. There was a lot of rest and relaxation this time. Um, First Lady had a good word for us, just speaking about us giving birth to new ideas, to businesses, to new relationships. Just, you know what I mean, like, and in that analogy, she talked about the different stages of giving birth and challenged us to figure out what stage of giving birth we were in, and essentially saying yes to giving birth to whatever it is that God has put inside of us so that it can come out. Hence me being up here trying to get this podcast going, right? Because that's been something that's been on me, and I can't stay pregnant for years because that's what I've been doing in the past. The Lord, you know what I'm saying? I get pregnant with an idea, with whatever, and then it takes me 2 years. Like me wanting to be on the praise team, it took me 2 years to get on the praise team from when I initially started feeling like, you know what, the pastor said if something get on your nerves, that's probably where you need to be at in ministry. And not saying that the praise team got on my nerves per se, but like I used to always like, man, they just need a couple extra voices in the background just to make them sound fuller. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So, I mean, obviously there's more to being on the praise team than just singing in the background. But I knew that, you know what I'm saying, that was something that I could do. So, but it just took me a long time of just like, you know what I'm saying? My son had to join, my boy had to join the praise team, and before I would even start talking about it out loud. And even then, I had every excuse as to why I wasn't good enough to do it, to be honest, because sometimes I just second guess myself. I won't even go down that road today. But yeah, and I still do, now that I've been doing it, I think it hasn't been it's been some months, maybe 8 months, I don't know. I still second guess myself all the time, but I know I sing every day at home. And so now I get to sing the praises to the Lord on Sundays. And it's taking my praise and worship to the next level. Like, I don't even know how I made it. Like, I already said that, but I don't even know how I made it through the 5 songs today because I kept getting so choked up just thinking about the presence of the Lord all around me, everything that He has done in my life, everything that He's doing. Um, just as the atmosphere shifted in church, it seemed like it was more people standing up. It was just an entire vibe. Like, we have a good vibe when the songs are upbeat and we be in there jamming. But when we have those worship sessions, it is just I can't even explain it. And I knew it was gonna be good because our practice was good. So I already knew that praise and worship was gonna be good. To the point that my boy messed up on the second song. But like I told him, the devil, he could not allow you to be great on that second song because he sang that first song so hard. It had my little heart balled up tight. Anytime I hear my boy's voice, I'm so amazed. I'm so amazed at his voice, at his talent, at his growth and all of the things. It's just a wonderful thing. And I just knew that. I mean, it was so many things. One of the girls singing and exhortating, even though she had spoke about being very much nervous and not comfortable doing it, like all of those things, it was just like the Lord be working. The Lord be working. Um, I'm gonna move on from that because, like I said, just thinking about it, it was a powerful praise and worship session. And then of course the pastor always come through with a great word. But yeah, so this last we went on a retreat. We talked about all of the things. She encouraged us to say yes to giving birth, about, our ideas, all of the things. One of the things she also told us was that because of us saying yes to giving birth to these ideas and just following what God's plan and his will was for us, that the devil was going to attack us. And when I tell you, excuse me, I should have ate ice cream, y'all. When I tell you, he started attacking us immediately, me included. And I had words with one of my most favorite people in the world, if I was just to be perfectly honest, and not even words like crazy words, but just giving heartfelt advice, which is something like, I mean, that's literally who I've been in our relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listen. I listen and I don't judge. That's first off. I listen and I don't judge. I give advice from my heart. And a lot of times the advice I give, it ain't even so much it drop on me. It's like what I'm supposed to say, and because I know I'm supposed to say, say it. I do say it, right? And I did say it, and she became offended, and I watched the offense from the 11, the number 11, from that. You understand what I'm saying? I watched the offense. I watched the defense. You know how you get to, well, all of that, and even out to the shutdown. And I tried to talk through it because I knew that what I was saying was coming from a good place. Plus, I knew what I was saying made sense. And it wasn't received well. Um, to the point that after that, she wasn't talking to me, and she actually tried to leave the retreat. And I believe she would have left if one, the first lady hadn't stopped her, and two, really, if her car hadn't been blocked in. So like literally, I mean, we were just in Sandbridge, which is Virginia Beach, like further out by the beach or whatever. But I mean, that was still my ride home, and I was gonna be left. And then there was an obvious separation after that. She didn't sit by me. She didn't sleep in the room with us. Any of the things, which was very weird. Um, a less healed version of me would have felt very abandoned, and I'll be honest, my little feelings were crushed because then I felt like I ain't, every time she disappeared, I was like, Lord, did she leave me? So I had to find a ride home, which was kind of humiliating. You know what I mean? Just kind of, it just put me in a bad headspace. And like I said, I cried. I tried to discreetly ask one of the roommates for a ride. She didn't necessarily have room in the car. Devastated. Um, I was able to get with somebody else and ask them for a ride without it being a big to do, even though there was already a to do being made because, like, you're not sleeping in a room, all the thing. People see, you know what I'm saying? If we ain't do nothing else during our time there, we complained, we watched, we observed, and we talked about all of the things that we saw, right? Because sadly, that's what a lot of women do when they get together, sadly, even on a church retreat. And yeah, I had to find a I mean, well, I found a ride home because, like I said, I didn't know what was what. I mean, it kinda seemed like by the end of it, she was waiting for me, but, that was weird. I don't even really know what to say, like, "Are you waiting for me? Because you left me yesterday, technically, and you haven't been talking to me, so now what do I get, a pity ride?" Like, I don't know, but, I mean, we're all adults. I found my ride home, to church anyway, because we was going straight to church. Um, there's been no talking to me since then. There's been no talking to me. I don't know if I've been blocked on Messenger, which is how we typically communicate it. I don't know if I've been blocked or if she's just not on Messenger anymore. Um, she ain't even sitting on the same row at church. We all used to sit on some. I don't know. It's like I said, it's very, very weird. It's weird. If I were to be quite honest, and some of the things the pastor was saying in church, that made me super emotional because when you create a bond with somebody and you have certain things that you do together, even if it's as simple as cutting your eye with somebody at church when he say something or turn and say, "Girl, you know what? He make me sick." We say that, and then you don't get to do that because they busy being mad. I don't even know what to make of that, right? Um, yeah. And then, like I said, I actually reached out. I went to go on to Messenger to apologize, but that's when I realized that she was no longer available to me, or from what it said. Yeah, it's very weird. And to be honest, I mean, I was literally just going to apologize because she was offended, because it was not my intention to offend her at all. I don't think anything that I said was wrong because it didn't come from a bad place, nor was this any, it won't nothing crazy being said. Um, but yeah, um, I hope that the one thing that comes out of this is that, to be honest, I hope she grows in it. You know what I'm saying? It looked like she might be getting ready to be a worship assistant, and I hope, and if that's what it, if me and her not talking gets her into volunteering or doing anything in church, especially something that she would be great at, then if I have to be sacrificed for that, then that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? um and I mean, I'm still here. If that door ever opens and she comes to knock on it and say, "Hey, girl, I was tripping," I'm still on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still my family. I love her. But you know what I'm saying? Um, I guess it's one of those things that in this next season, she can't go with me and I can't go with her. Maybe I was a counterfeit. Maybe she was a counterfeit. I don't know. I know that the one thing that I did say is that, "Hey, listen, just based off of what your conversation is these days, it makes me not wanna answer the phone for you sometimes." And I'm sure that was very hurtful because nobody wants to hear that, but that is my truth. Um, and in this season, I do have to be true to myself, and I can't try to be everything for everybody and sacrifice myself in the interim, no matter who it is. So if that's what it has to be, then so be it. And like I said, that's why I go back to This just being a season of isolation, because like I said, I ain't do nothing wrong, but I did speak truth. Um, and sometimes the truth hurts us and we don't want to hear it or deal with it. Um, and it changes the dynamic of things, right? It's like taking off the rose colored glasses, you know what I'm saying? Still one of my most favorite people. Somebody that I love truly, and I consider my family and always will be, whether she ever talks to me again or not. But again, yeah. So, and it's one of those things like the pastor was saying, he will take, God will take people away from you that you never would have thought that he would take. But it's all about pushing you to the next level. So, you know what I'm saying? It's funny. I want to say last year was supposed to be me, myself, and I. No, not me, myself, and I. It was supposed to be me, myself, and God. Um, and not saying that it wasn't, because I have been working diligently towards just doing as much as I can to get closer to God, but maybe I still had some distractions. So here we are. Um, Another one bites the dust of just kind of falling by the wayside, and here I am still standing, trying to get into the word more and more, trying to focus on the Lord, and just trying to be the best version of myself. And in doing that, if I lose people or people lose me, um, then that is what it is. And I have to just stand firm and still continue to be who I know that I am. Because like the Lord, like Pastor said today, um, there are times when things happen when we feel like we need to tell God, God, get them. Let them know who I am, or whatever the case might be. But like Pastor said, if you know who you were, if you knew who you were truly, you wouldn't even ask God to get them. You would still show up as exactly who you are every day and keep just being that woman of God or that man of God. So that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, if any doors open back up, um, I'm going to forgive my brother or my sister 70 times 7, and I'm going to turn the other cheek, and I'm going to still show them the same love. But if that is not what's supposed to happen, then it is what it is. So I know I'm not the only person out there in a season of isolation. So, if that is something that you can relate to, all I can say is stand strong, sister or brother, and just keep on praising the Lord. Keep on doing the best you can every day, and keep showing up as the best version of yourself as you can, and let the Lord take care of everything else, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm just trusting in Him. I trust Him. I love Him. And at the end of the day, as long as I got Him, it's God plus me equals the majority. I don't even know where I seen that. I know I seen it somewhere. I don't know, because I wrote it down on the sticky note. Where did I see that at? It might have been the book I'm reading, Power Moves. No, because I won't read that at church, at work. I don't know. But I know that I wrote it down and I stuck it on my computer. God plus me equals the majority. So if that's all it ends up being in the long run, that's all I need. Y'all, I've been up here for almost 50 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. For those of you who stuck around this long, I thank y'all. I love y'all. If you didn't make it, I try to hold your attention the next time. Everybody have a good and safe night. I love y'all. All right. Bye.